If we carefully read through the Gospels, I think we can notice a thin thread, a motif if you like, which reveals something about the nature of Mary's relationship with her son Jesus. Short, seemingly unrelated passages, when read as one, lead us to our Gospel reading of today, enriching our understanding of it. Let me quickly sketch some of them for you. Firstly, there is Mary's initial yes to Gabriel's message to her as he tells her of who and what her son would be. Let it be with me according to your word, she says. She would not have known anything of what was before her, and yet there is a positivity and an active acceptance of it all. At Jesus' birth, with the visit of the shepherds, we read of Mary treasuring and pondering on all that she hears. Not long after that, we have the presentation of Jesus in the temple. Mary and Joseph meet Simeon and Anna. And after Simeon has blessed them, he says to Mary, "This child, your child, is destined for the falling and the rising of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be opposed, so that the inner thoughts of many will be revealed. And a sword will pierce your soul too." On one hand, Simeon speaks so wonderfully of the child's future that Mary and Joseph are amazed. But then he speaks to Mary prophetically of the price both she and her son must pay. Not sure how Mary would have received that. On the one hand, celebrating the joy of her son's birth, and then to be told that all will not be good news. Years later, Jesus is a 12-year-old, stays behind in the temple without Mary and Joseph's knowledge. And when they finally find him, Mary's words reflect a mother's concern. "Child, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been searching for you in great anxiety." When he had replied that he needed to be in his father's house, we're told again that Mary treasured all these things in her heart. We can then move on 30 years to the wedding of Cana for another interchange, another exchange, this time adult to adult. And we'll think about that occasion in a moment. But just to say that all these moments, all these occurrences lead us to where we find ourselves this morning in our gospel reading at the foot of the cross. This moving scene between Jesus and his mother has been the subject of much painting and meditation. Many churches have paintings of it. Mary and John, we think that John is the disciple whom Jesus loved. Mary and John at the foot of the cross, usually Mary on the left and John on the right. This is the last time we specifically meet Jesus' mother in the gospel story. I wonder whether Mary thought back over the years. I wonder whether she understood that what she was witnessing made sense of her journey, which had started 30 years or so ago. I suspect not. I think it would have taken the resurrection for her to fully understand. Thinking back for a moment to the wedding of Cana, she had not understood then that his time had not yet come. And now standing at the foot of the cross, she probably didn't understand that his time had come at that moment. That this is where it had all been leading. That his calling to turn the water of human life into the rich wine of God's love was being fulfilled. What I think she may have reflected on and remembered, however, is what Simeon had said to her all those days earlier. And a sword will pierce your own soul too. Above all, in this we are witnessing a moment of fierce love, a mother's love. Jesus might be a criminal in the eyes of the law, but he was her son. So we see a mother's enduring love as we watch Mary standing near the cross as the soldiers draw lots for his clothing. Also, we witness a son's love, looking beyond his own pain to her needs. She sees him, perhaps in a new way, and he sees her and her needs. All these stories in their own way reveal to me our experience of life. Times of joy and times of challenge and sorrow, sometimes mingled together. Even in more normal times than these, we must grapple with the joy and promise of life alongside its disappointments and challenges, whilst knowing the joy of Christian faith, of fun spent with friends and family, the happiness of family events, of baptisms and weddings. We have also got to live with restrictions and separation, bad news, and sometimes even tension within our families. There will be many emotions today. In particular, in more normal years, Mother's Day can be a real celebration for many of us. Cards and chocolates, perhaps breakfast in bed. But for most this year, there will be the experience of separation that many experience year by year. Perhaps contact with children and grandchildren through Zoom and Facebook or WhatsApp. We may experience, as some do frequently, the separation of those who have been apart from others for a long time. It seems to me that at times like these, it is important that we hold on to the fact that in all of this, good and bad, God cares and God is. I think if we do this, we can live our lives in the hope that he has set before us, enjoying his provision around us and trusting his promises. There is a postscript to our reading, and somehow it encourages me. In the book of Acts, chapter 1, we are told that after the ascension of Jesus, the disciples gathered together in an upstairs room. And Luke then specifically tells us Mary, the mother of Jesus, was there also. Her story of faith continued.